Hello everyone, my name is Stan Walchuk. I have the pleasure today of having a discussion with horseman, muleman, educator, program instructor, Bob Silverthorne. Many of you know Bob from the Blue Creek outfitting programs. If you do not, you are about to meet someone who has dedicated his life to teaching people of all ages, both in the educational system and through outdoor programs. I wrote Blue Creek Outfitting's trail riding, packing, and training book, plus more than 50 articles on the subject. But somehow Bob still manages to teach me new things, show me new ideas, and his way of doing things, which he has done for many years and still manages to do it with great enthusiasm. Hats off to you, Bob. Welcome. How are you doing today?
It's a fine, beautiful, cold Alberta day. It's a gorgeous day and great day to be alive.
I think I recognize that hat. I'm thinking you take it out only for good occasions.
This is my go-to-town hat. Horsehair, twisted horsehair headband, traditional of the 1880s to 1910, 15, 20, made mostly by the prisoners in the southwestern prisons. Twisted horsehair and woven horsehair.
Bob, allow me to read this list. High Country Guides and Packer School, Blue Creek Trail Riding and Packing Clinic, Canoeing Instructor, Canoe Paddle Making Programs, Implemented Native Dancing and Powwow Programs, the Flying Hooves Mounted Drill Team, coached basketball, taught leatherwork, taught flint stone work, making arrowheads, worked with many youth and adult groups in programs I'm probably not even aware of. And I know I have forgotten about some of your programs, some of your involvement with youth and adults over the many years. Your amazing enthusiasm, your dedication, your commitment over so many years. So let's back up a little bit and look at the early days. Tell us all about how you got started.
Well, not growing up with my biological parents. I had an incredible family to live with, and the opportunity, we had horses right from the get-go. So I don't know, 7 years old, I had horses to care for and learn to ride, and did the Flying Hooves Mounted Drill Team, which for many years, and outdoor skill development along with horse stuff, and but that was the really important part from early on as a young person. That was my refuge, the outdoors, and great way to learn incredible new skills. Along with horse skills, learning as a kid, just to stay on the back and that kind of thing. I did have a pretty good accident after one of the shows. We were pole bending racing, and somebody left the gate open. My horse cut hard, and I went over, and she stepped in my hand and with the shoes, and I lost the tip of my right front finger. So I can do really great things with it. It's a short finger, and it was smashed, and but an old cowboy picked me up, stopped the blood flow, and rushed me to the hospital, and I was very fortunate.
That was probably the last time you fell off a horse, right?
I could say that, and some people will believe it. I guess I have old sayings that really guide me all my life, and you put a leg on each side and your mind in the middle, and that's how you ride.
And those legs and mind, they have to connect with that horse, correct?
Indeed they do.
Bob, it is not only that you have all of this knowledge, not only that you have spent a lifetime sharing this knowledge with others, but the desire, the need to teach these things comes from somewhere. Is there something that happened early in life, some part of your life that motivated you, that provided this passion, this desire, this need?
I think that's a very fair question. And early in life, I knew my direction. I knew the pathway that I was walking. And as I learned from incredible mentors, Bob Barnhill, Ho-Chunk, Winnebago man, how to do things. It was all hands-on learning, and everything from canoeing and traditional old-style camping ways, not all the modern stuff. And that's how I learned that. And as I learned those skills, it was my job not to, those weren't mine, but they were mine to pass on. And so my entire life, as I've learned skills and have been given skills from incredible mentors, I've felt the need to carry them on and pass them on.
When you say it is not mine, but mine to pass on, I'm wondering if that is like a theme or a way of life in Native culture.
No question about it, that's the way it is. I'm 81 years old, and those aren't mine to keep, they're mine to pass on, and important skills. And so I really enjoy that as I've been gifted by various instructors, teachers, from everything from starting canoeing as a little kid to finishing up in some pretty rugged waters of the world canoeing, as you have, Stan. It's great, and I get to pass it on. So it's a marvelous opportunity to do that, whether it's making a saddle, as somebody taught me, so now I help others with leather work and how to do things, outfitting, repairing your equipment, and traditional ways of camping out, not just the brand new modern truck campers, because I like to go where I don't hear anybody snoring next to me. So it's all good in the backcountry.
Unless it is a grizzly bear snoring. Quicker to cuddle with one that way.
Yes. That's why I like lean-to open-face tents. They don't have to come in the back door. I can go out the front. They're wide open.
What did you think the first time you met me, which I believe was in Thorsby, Alberta, probably the spring of 1983?
I think it was Thorsby, and I saw, boy, here's this guy talking about the Cordillera, and I had to figure out what that word Cordillera meant, and now I knew, and I went to this production, a film showing, and sat in the back, and here's this young whippersnapper up there. I don't think he had a mustache then, and he's telling about this great trip, and he finished up coming down the Stickeen River by canoe from Telegraph Creek, BC to Wrangell, Alaska. And he said, I'm the first guy that's ever done that in a little 17-foot canoe. And I couldn't wait to talk to you afterwards. And I said, I'm real glad to hear this is in 1987. I said, in 1964, I was lucky enough to take a canoe down the Stickeen River, and the RCMP didn't want me to go. But I took my little 17-foot canoe down and ended up in Wrangell, Alaska, and then stayed, because I could read the fast water. I stayed and guided there on the Margaret Rose Riverboat for 5 years. So it was great fun. Because I could read the water, I got the job, and up at 4 in the morning, and I'm still deaf from all the 6'10" jimmies running in tunnels through 2.5 feet of water. 90 feet long, 30 feet wide, the Margaret Rose. It was the newest boat on the river.
That is really interesting. You rode that same water, those same waves that the first paddle wheelers did, bringing supplies up from the Pacific to Telegraph Creek in the late 1800s for the first people going into the gold rush, the first white people going into the gold rush. Bob, you are an experienced canoeist. It sounds like you have traveled some wild country.
I've been very fortunate to have that opportunity. When I got out of high school, that summer we got out of high school, 3 of my buds, we got a map out where we wanted to go, and we threw 2 canoes on a car and drove to Sioux Lookout, Ontario, flagged the train and told them what we want. We got on a half baggage car full of dogs and gear and people, and threw our 2 canoes in there and showed the engineer on the map, and we got to ride up in the engine, said, here's where we want to get off, cross the Albany River, little stream, jumped in there, and next morning, and that was early in the morning, heavy dew, and it was interesting, packed up and headed down the Albany, and ended up in James Bay. So it was a pretty exciting trip for 3 high school kids, and really good canoeing stuff. And I got to meet many Native peoples along the way.
What I find surprising is how you learn to speak Cree, which seems to me really quickly. We met back in 1982, and I think you already were fluent in Cree.
My whole life I've had the honor to be with Native people and be on the inner circles, and I spent my whole life, and I'm a newcomer here because I only came to Musqueam here 50 years ago, and I was teaching at the University of Calgary, and had the opportunity. I had gone back for another degree work in graduate school in cross-cultural special ed. It's been a real honor. In the last number of years, in the last 4 years, we've done 4 or 5 buffalo between Samson Band at Musqueam and Stony Nakota at Morley. Totally skinned, cut up the meat to distribute it to the community, all with stone tools, no metal knives. And the students learn a great deal how their ancestors did, and I find that absolutely rewarding. I've had a great life and 81 years this month, and I've enjoyed every bit of it. I still feel energetic enough and to do some of the things that we can do, and continuing to share those learned skills that have been passed down. One of the major things, we live in a province in the Alberta Rockies, and to get to travel that clean country, Kanata Aski, actually the word Canada is a Cree description, Kanata Aski, the clean land, and get to travel the backcountry of Alberta and by horse and mule. I've been lucky enough to see Alaska and Idaho, Montana and Nevada, and by horse and mule, and between a mule's ears, and it's been a great thing. So I'm just happy. I give thanks every morning for the start of another day, and I give great thanks for the people that got us to this point and broke the trail for us.
I read a book recently. 2 old-timers were talking. One said, "What is the world coming to?" The other one said, "Well, it all started when kids stopped saying, 'Yes, sir,' 'Yes, ma'am,' and stopped holding doors open for others." I have known Bob for 40 years. I have never once heard him complain, not about the weather, not about his aches and pains, not about someone else. I have never heard him speak a foul word. He has made an impression on me. I hope that he has been an inspiration to you as well.
This one's for you, bud.
Look around you. Who are you going to choose to believe in? Look around you. What world do you want to live in? Look around you at wild mountains, wild waters, clean skies,